Good afternoon, guys, and then welcome back to another lecture. Today, what we have is the spontaneous generation. Now, spontaneous generation is a phenomenon that most of the early scientists do believe that is the possible explanation about how living organisms came into existence. Most of them believed that life might have come from non-living materials. The people like Louis Pasteur, who once said that living things came from non-living materials. Especially, he said, the flies that we are seeing around us, they came from the meat. He said when people keep their meat, then later these flies developed from that meat. And lots of examples are given. Some scientists said that if you put your sweat clothes in a store for a long period of time, the rats develop from those clothes. These are something that we call spontaneous generation, which means living organisms or life evolve from non-living things. However, this was proven to be wrong due to the lack of experimental evidences that most of these scientists give that flight might have come from meat. There was no possible experiment that can explain this. Of course, we know that flies do not come from meat. They came from what we call the maggots, like their eggs. And likewise, rats do not come from the clothes. But spontaneous generation might not be true, but if you look at certain perspective, this is something very, very real. Now, let's go back to the origin of our life, the earth that we are living today. Now, in the beginning of this earth, there was no living organism, as we know. The earth was full of chemicals, molecules, elements like carbon dioxide was present on this earth. We have ammonia was present on this earth, though there was no oxygen. But we also have some chemicals like methane gases. Now, when Ure Müller did their experiment to explain how the first organic molecule came into existence, when they put or gathered these molecules or elements together, they developed what we called the first amino acid from it. And that first amino acid was the first organic molecule that existed on this earth. So you can now see that those non-living compounds or elements like the carbon dioxide, the methane, the ammonium, those non-living elements developed an organic molecule, which is an amino acid. And that amino acid, as we know, amino acids are essential biological molecules, and they develop to give rise to the first life and prokaryotic cell. So now you can see that spontaneous generation is something which is real. I personally believe that spontaneous generation is something real. It depends on the examples that you give to explain the occurrence of spontaneous generation. So I hope it is going to help spontaneous generation. Please, any doubt, get back to me.